And only the second Supercross race to be held in Philadelphia in the modern era, the real heroes of the day were the track workers. With rain through the week and all throughout the day and night before the event, the Herculean efforts to save the track saved Saturday. And despite the piss-poor scheduling of 4 successive rounds in the Atlantic Northeast in April, the efforts of the track crew paid off with a relatively raceable racetrack. Though the transitions were soft and sloppy, the higher ground actually went dry slick as the day wore on, and we were spared the debacle that was Foxborough. The first qualifying session was not great, but by the second session, the race course had come around, and when the gates fell at the daytime event, actual racing ensued. Shades of Seattle, Roczen took the early lead and battled past the halfway point, right in through the pain of the separated shoulder and iffy ankle. But 8 minutes in, he finally succumbed as first Sexton went by. With Webb going past 90 seconds later as Kenny muffed a rhythm section, and for those of us still living with shoulder injuries, it looked like it hurt. The delay between Sexton getting around Roczen and Webb doing the same was critical. By that point, Chase had a 4-second lead. At the end, Sexton still had that 4 seconds on Webb. It was championship rides from each. Webb loses 3 points, but still has 12 to play with going into the final 4-race stretch of the season. Roczen held on, literally limping home for third, a long ways clear from Malcolm Stewart in fourth, with Joey Savacci in a season best 5th returning from his own injury. Sexton is now tied with Webb with 4 rounds each, and that number could prove crucial moving forward. Somewhat unlike Foxborough, and totally unlike Philly, East Rutherford actually has a history worth talking about. The first Supercross race in New Jersey was held in 1987, with Honda's Rick Johnson winning. And in the following year,
ready for the main event. This man, Ricky Johnson, is ready to prove he's number 1 this year.
The question is, can you be stopped tonight? How do you feel? This is it. This is for all the marbles tonight. You can win the championship.
Well, I don't think it's possible for me to win the championship, but it's definitely possible for me to make 3 more points on Jeff Ward. So my attitude going into this race is just to win. I won here last year, but I lost my championship. So as far as the people know, I was a Supercross champion, and they'll be cheering for me.
So the stage is set for the main event here at the Meadowlands Supercross in New Jersey. The riders to watch: Holland looked good in his heat, Brock Glover, Jeffrey Leach, Jeff Matasevich, Ricky Johnson, and Ron the Machine. And here we go. The key drops, they rocket down the line. The best riders in the world, it is looks to be Holland in the middle of the pack, taking the lead. It is Holland in front. Duboc now goes to the outside. And Holland comes back and goes out in front, launching himself over the jump. George Holland, Team Honda out in front. A couple riders look to have a problem with the hay bale back there in the middle of the pack. But it is George Holland's race at this point. Anything can happen in the main. Wardy did not start. Through the tunnel, Duboc right on the back tire on that privateer Yamaha support ride. Lachine back in the middle of the pack, and where is Johnson? That's the question. Where is Ricky Johnson? Traditionally not a good starter. Holland has seemed to got a new lease on life after his battle earlier with Ward in the heat race. There's Johnson in 4th spot, number 2. Lachine bounces into 2nd spot like a human pogo stick. Duboc goes to 3rd, and Johnson goes to 4th, and you can bet that Johnson will start to move up. And there's Lachine on the inside. And Lachine goes to the inside on a beautiful pass, and Holland comes back. It is Holland and Lachine over the jump. Side by side, handlebar to handlebar. Lachine stops Holland, and Johnson goes by in a second. Whoa, Nelly! It is Lachine in front, Kawasaki, and Johnson on his back tire. Lachine went by Holland, slicker than a mayonnaise sandwich. Beautiful pass. And now it is Johnson's turn to stalk Lachine. But Johnson goes by. Lachine goes back in front. Johnson tried to go by on the outside. Lachine blocked him beautifully. And Lachine goes down. And that's what happens when somebody like Ricky Johnson puts some pressure on you. Lachine went down faster than anybody I've seen in Supercross. The front wheel washed out and he slammed into the ground. And it is Ricky Johnson in front. The main event at the Meadowlands Supercross in Rutherford, New Jersey. But right now it's Ricky Johnson's race here. Whoa! Well, wait a minute! Johnson faltered there and Holland comes up behind him. What happened to Johnson? He didn't go down, but he stalled the bike. And Holland is going to take the lead! As the Honda mechanics are pulling their hair out, they got their two superstars battling each other. And Holland almost tries to stuff Johnson into the tunnel. Wait a minute here, folks. Holland is in front and Johnson's saying this is not supposed to happen. And remember that Holland is riding with a badly injured shoulder, and he's right in the middle of contention for that 125 national title, as Myers told you earlier. Johnson moves Holland to the outside and goes by him. Johnson in front, but Holland is dogging him, putting the pressure on Ricky Johnson. And Johnson's not used to this, especially from his teaming. Now Johnson starts to pull away. Motorized pogo sticks over this very tough John Savinsky-built track. Larry Huffman calling the action from the Meadowlands Supercross. Ricky Johnson, number 2, way out in front. George Holland in second spot. And now it's wide open for Honda as Lease goes into third. It is a Honda 1-2-3 freight train. But this is the rider who's out in front, Ricky Johnson. He's now, that's it, waving to the crowd responding. They love him here in New Jersey. Johnson going for the checkered flag here tonight at the Meadowlands. Whoa, sideways, feet off the pegs, waving to the crowd. Ricky's got to keep in mind what happened to Jeff Ward in his race. Jeff was not showboating. He landed hard. There's a no-hand on the jump. Very few people in the world can do this. Don't try it unless you're a pro of the caliber of Ricky Johnson or Jeff Ward. The checkered flag comes out, and Johnson takes it, the Meadowlands. Rick Johnson, the 1988 national champion.
Johnson clinched the championship that night, the second and final Supercross crown. In '89, it was Johnson's protege, Jeff Stanton, taking the win.
If indeed we would get the main event in, Jeff Ward knifes to the inside of Jeff Stanton, and Ward has taken over the number 1 position. Going into that corner, Jeff Ward kept the gas on just a little bit longer than Stanton. Stanton had to go way up by the bales because Ward was pushing him there. He had no choice. Stanton is catching Ward. Ward has slowed way down. Ward is falling off the pace. I don't understand what is happening to Jeff Ward. He's looking down at the left side of his motorcycle. That's where the shift lever, the sprocket, is located. It could be that Ward has jammed the motorcycle into first gear, although I think if that were the case, he would be trying to bump it out with his foot. Ward has just slowed to almost a snail's pace. All of the back markers are going around him. Meanwhile, Jeff Stanton, rider number 7, the series points leader, has regained the number 1 spot. The track, though, is getting extremely slippery. There are puddles standing. In fact, some of the ruts and some of the tighter corners are full of water. You put just a little bit of water on top of that clay, and you have a slippery, slick mess. It's like a freshly waxed floor, and all over the racetrack, riders are falling, are sliding out. And there is the white flag signifying 1 lap to go. It's been raining throughout the race. Just about time the starting gate dropped, the clouds opened up, and it started to pour. The surface of this Meadowlands track has been turned into a slippery mess with all of the water that's been dumped on it. Jeff Stanton has only a couple of corners to go, a few more moguls, and he'll romp home the winner. It'll be his 4th win, as a matter of fact, of the Camel season. He'll pad that Camel Series points lead. And here's Stanton. There's a checkered flag, and an arm goes up in victory. What a ride, a muddy, slippery ride.
And in the following year, it was yet another Red Rider, Jean-micheal Bell. Bell was over 30 points down, having missed races early in the season before coming back to win 4 going into the 1990 race. Somewhat forgotten in history is that Bell was a true rookie in Supercross, having never raced the 125 class. somewhat like Prado in the modern era. Bale was the non-defending 250 world champion, having migrated stateside after his second GP title.
Big night for the point battlers, if you will, Matasovic and Stanton. Also for Bale, who's been on a roll of late. Who's got the start? Bradshaw looking pretty good on the inside. Matasovic in that second wave. We are underway here in the Meadowlands. Bradshaw, Matasovic, Ward out front. Jeff Stanton has what is now his traditional sixth-place start with a little catching up to do. Bradshaw will be tough to catch, I guarantee you. Matasovic ought to try to run Bradshaw's pace. He got into the series point lead by racing Bradshaw.
Right now, problems being caused by Jean-micheal Bale, number 22. He's catching Matasovic.
Bale is really on a roll, Larry. He's been so strong in the recent events. After he missed a couple due to injury again, he can throw caution to the wind. He can go out and just try to win races. He is accustomed to winning races. He's not used to getting beat. And so as he goes after Matasovic, all he's thinking about is get to the front. He's a two-time world champion. He is tremendously experienced. He's got great skills. And I think Jean-micheal likes racing in America, and that's also a great incentive. He's working on Matasovic. But I'm not convinced that Bale's given up on his own chances to win. If he can beat Matasovic, it's a psychological victory. If he can get all the way to front tonight, he's done a miracle.
Oh, we've got to race. The good guys are all up front. Damon Bradshaw holding down the number one spot. There's Jeff Ward, Matasovic, Jean-micheal Bale. Here comes the defending champion. And Jay, you're right. There's the pass.
And what a pass. As Bradshaw leads, we now have Jean-micheal Bale second. He passed both Matasovic and Ward.
We've got a couple of battles. One out front. We're looking for a battle for the lead, and we've got the championship battle going on behind him.
Tell you what, this battle for the lead could make that championship battle more interesting, because if Bale wins this one, he's going to become increasingly a realistic threat to at least challenge Matasovic and Stanton. And they continue to be fourth and fifth place players here. Stanton not able to get around Matasovic. Matasovic coming off his worst race all year. He was dead last week in Charlotte, and we got just a glimpse of Matasovic over there bouncing off the hay bales in this one. So this continues.
Oh, there's Jean-micheal Bale has moved to the number one spot. Bradshaw almost, now that's unbelievable. Bradshaw had the opportunity there to squirt right back in front of Bale, but he let Bale go, and that's not Bradshaw. The race leader in this one is number 22, Jean-micheal Bale. He took the lead just a few laps to go, and he has opened the gap between himself and the rest of the field. Bale will move into the number 3 position in the series if he can keep it upright. And Dave, I don't think at this point that we can count Michelle Bale out of the series championship.
There's the guy who did the job tonight. I'll tell you what, Jean-micheal Bale, he impresses me because he's come the other way. He's come from Europe to the U.S. Typically, the motocross talent flow has gone the other way. The Europeans used to set the standard with their world championship. Now, perhaps the tide has turned. The big money, the big prestige, and the best riders are all in the U.S. Jean-micheal says, I'm going to go over there and take care of those guys. I'm going to race with those American Motorcyclists Association riders who are now the premier stars in the world. And our thanks, too, to the AMA for their help tonight.
Checkered flag time for Jean-micheal Bale. A pump with the left arm to the crowd, and he's got to be one happy dude. Here comes, look at this. Damon Bradshaw in second. No! That's about as tight as finish we're going to see anywhere. I don't believe this. Damon Bradshaw was asleep at the switch.
Following year, Bale had amassed a huge points lead in the championship. It would be a relative non-factor, as Stanton and Damon Bradshaw had a knockdown brawl at the front.
Rider number 8, he is the series points leader. To the left of your screen, rider number 10, that's Larry Ward. We saw a shot of Jeff Ward, rider number 3 on the other side of the gate. Look at that big number 1. Boy, it gets heavy about this time of the year. He's the defending Supercross champ, out of the title hunt due to an injury that he incurred in Pontiac, Michigan. Missed 3 events that virtually eliminated all of his chances, or put him down the drain for a title in this 1991 Supercross season. The gate is about to drop. This one is going to be underway. There it goes, and out of the middle of the pack, immediately it's Jeff Ward aboard the green Kawasaki, headed toward corner number 1, and Ward is going to come home with the whole shot in this one. Right behind him, though, Jeff Stanton, the defending Supercross champion. Stanton holding down to the number 2 position. Jean-micheal Bale aboard the Honda is way back in the pack. I would estimate somewhere around 15th. We'll find him in a little bit, but let's take a look up front. It's Jeff Ward, Jeff Stanton, and Ron Tishner, rider number 12 aboard the Suzuki. Damon Bradshaw. Now Ward going to work on Stanton. As Stanton going to work on Ward, I should say, he got the job done, takes over the number 1 spot. Here comes Bradshaw, does not want Stanton to get away. Look at this. Oh, Oh, what a move!
I tell you, he squared that corner off and shot by Jeff Ward. I mean, like a rocket. Jeff Ward takes him back.
Jeff Ward right side by side. How did he get in there? I thought he was passed.
Well, Jeff really outbraked him coming into that first corner there and just took the line away from him. And now Bradshaw's chasing Ward now, Larry.
Bradshaw gathers himself, pounds through that rough section, regains the number 2 spot. Ward had some problems because there's Tishner. Tishner caught Ward. They're side by side.
I think Ward missed a gear, but Bradshaw charged through, and now he's heading for Stanton. I think this is going to be a fantastic race we have in our hands here.
Well, only Jeff Stanton, meanwhile, holding down the number 1 position, being chased by Damon Bradshaw. Way back in the pack is our series points leader, Jean-micheal.
He's going to be looking for the line, but Stanton's going to be holding. Here we go. Bradshaw's coming after him.
See, there he tried, but there just wasn't enough room, and he knew better than to get any closer to Stanton. Now he tries to jump him on that triple jump. I'll jump him. He's got the inside line. Is he going to do it? Stanton's around the outside and rails it. Bradshaw has taken over the number 1 position. Stanton charges back. Look at this.
Right to the inside. Took his line away.
And now Stanton regains the lead, but Bradshaw hammers around the outside. Side by side. 3/4 of a lap they've been that way. Under the tunnel. Stanton holds down the number 1 spot for the second time today.
Boy, they switch back and forth. Bradshaw's. Here we go.
Up over the top of that finish line. Jump in. Bradshaw takes it back. I can't see any place on this racetrack where either one of these riders has the advantage. Bradshaw looks behind him. Was that a look of contempt to say, hey, that's the last time I'm gone?
I'll tell you what, Bradshaw's going to try to pull away if he possibly can. But Jeff Stanton, you cannot count him out. He's in fantastic physical conditioning, and he's going to be right there, I believe.
Stanton, the defending champion out of Sherwood, Michigan. Bradshaw, 18 years old. He's the challenger, the rookie. Not only his second full year in 250cc Supercross competition. Comes out of Charlotte, North Carolina. There goes Stanton to the inside. There it is. Oh! Bradshaw did not back off 1 inch. Give that man all the credit in the world. I don't know how you would call that one. It looked to me like Stanton and Bradshaw both said, hey, I know you're there, to each other. There goes Stanton to the outside, side by side with Bradshaw. Now he's going to try to square it off, squirt to the inside, and Stanton made the move where I didn't think he could make a move.
He sure did. I'll tell you what, that shows that experience, and that's why he's got the number 1 place.
Here he goes into that hairpin turn, headed up toward the finish line, and Jeff Stanton is going to take his 4th win of the season. Jeff Stanton takes the checkered flag. Following him will be...
All in, Honda riders had swept the 5 New Jersey races in the late 80s and early 90s. For the next 23 years, Supercross promoters largely avoided open-air stadiums in the Northeast during the spring. And then, in 2014, Feld brought the series back to New Jersey. When Supercross returned, it wasn't to the Meadowlands, it was to a new venue, MetLife Stadium, which would be the site of Ryan Villapoto clinching his 4th straight title.
Seconds away, Miss Supercross, Diana Dahlgren exits the racetrack. We're set to drop the gate for the first time in MetLife. The whole shot will go to Villapoto, right where he wants to be, out front in the front of the field. What a night, and what a way to do it for Ryan Villapoto by winning the prestigious first ever race in MetLife Stadium. Ryan Villapoto is a 4-time Monster Energy Supercross champion.
Congratulations on another championship.
At Seattle, Cooper Webb fired yet another shot across Chase Sexton's bow. And added insult to injury by passing Chase on the last lap in the slop fest in Foxborough. In Philly, Sexton returned fire. Though oft overused and generally mangled by a certain broadcaster, Philly was an actual must-win for Sexton. And he did. Though the tables haven't actually been turned, it likely is crucial for Webb to return serve in the final 2 East Coast races where the softer, more ruddy, and hopefully not muddy soil plays to his strengths. Sexton may likewise have the advantage on the harder and slicker tracks that await in Denver and Salt Lake. And if Chase wins out the rest of the season, he erases his 12-point deficit and will take the tiebreaker for most wins. But should he slip, it seems safe to assume that Coop will be right there to capitalize. And hey, if you like this video, please like this video. Maybe we'll tap the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you know how to type. Meanwhile, thanks for watching this.
Yeah, it was a barn burner, you know. We battled back the whole time. We both kind of got up in that first turn thing, so yeah, he got going in front of me, and you know, we were coming through the pack together, but he rode great. Come back next weekend and kick his ass, though.